Welcome back to my channel. Greetings, everyone. This is Q, man. I hope everyone is doing well on this fine Friday, guys. Yes, it's Friday. I had an excellent workout this morning, guys, and I'm really sad that I got to be here today to talk to you about this topic. So, guys, I apologize about the noise. I didn't know this vehicle was about to come by. It has one of those speakers on top. I don't know how long it's going to take for him to pass, but hopefully it won't be there long. So I'm going to try to do some small talk until they pass by, man. I had a really good workout today. I had my breakfast. I took my first dose of medication today, which was my oatmeal and my banana and my water. My second dose of medication, guys, was my coffee and my cigar. They help me relax. They keep me calm, guys. And I'm very happy to be here alive with you guys today. But I'm not happy about the topic we're going to talk about today. Okay, guys? I'm not happy at all, man. Because there's been another murder of a black child, a young man, teenager. Teenager, guys, murdered by the police in Chicago. So by now, I hope everyone has seen it. And this is what we're talking about today. This young man was running from the police officer, and he ran quite a distance. But he did exactly what the officer told him to do, which was to stop. And he yelled out, "Stop," many times before the young man stopped, guys. And when the young man stopped and turned around, before I believe the officer had time to assess any threat, he shot that young man. Similar to that officer who shot that other teenager, young boy. Seconds after getting out of the car, this young man playing with a toy gun, before he assessed any threat, he killed that young man. And he got off. So, guys, I don't want you to listen to me and take my side. I don't want you to listen to CNN, NBC, any local news, Reverend Al. I don't want you to listen to anyone. I want you to do the evaluation I did. I want you to do what the investigators are going to do. I want you to play that tape, and I want you to watch it all the way through. Then I want you to bag that tape up, and I want you to pause it right before the young man turns around, okay? And then, guys, I want you to play it, pause it, play and pause it. I want you to capture screenshots leading up to when that young man got shot. And after you capture all those screenshots, ladies and gentlemen, what I want you to do, and I want you to take each screenshot and whatever type of device you have, however you do this, I want you to just enlarge it, blow it up. I want you to tell me if you think this was a justified shooting. Did you see a gun? Did you see a gun in the young man's hands? Did you see the young man with that weapon attempting to raise it? Now, guys, we all know that if someone has a weapon, you don't have to wait until they get from here up to there to shoot them. But guys, I want you to judge. I want you to answer this question. Did you, first of all, I want you to really evaluate this. From the time that young man stopped and turned around, how quickly was he shot? So first of all, that officer was running with his weapon out, okay? Nothing wrong with that, okay? But I want you to evaluate how soon after that young man stopped and turned around was he shot? Did you see a gun? Did you see a gun in his hand? Did you see a gun being raised? Those are simple questions, guys, that need to be answered. Because I'm going to tell you right now, man, most 13-year-olds, even if they have a gun, man, they're not willing to have no shootout with no police. They're not willing. I don't know any 13-year-old who's willing to have a shootout with the police. Okay, guys? I don't know any. I don't know any, guys. Do you know any 13-year-olds who's willing to have a shootout with the police? Something else, guys. Who remembers what happened at the Capitol? Are you guys following the news on that? Do you know that even though those people were under attack and some were being killed and being beaten, I'm talking about the police, they were ordered not to use their most lethal force that they had available. They had guns, weapons, and they had these special type of tasers. They were ordered not to use them against people who were abusing them and attacking them. But the police on the streets in our community are authorized to use the most legal force against our children, men and women. Can anybody explain that to me, man? Can anybody explain that to me? And guys, I made a video about this before, guys. If these police officers lived in our community, first of all, a 13-year-old wouldn't be running from the police unless they were afraid of them. And guess what, ladies and gentlemen? We have a legal right and reason to be afraid of the police. If these police lived in our communities, we wouldn't be afraid of the police. We wouldn't be scared of the police. We wouldn't run from the police. Everything would be a whole lot better. Because if these, I talked about this before, if these police officers lived in our community, they would be concerned about killing us and abusing us and then running into us at Walmart, running into us at the park with their children, running into us at the grocery store. They abuse us and go back to their communities because they know they don't have to face us. Okay, guys, so that's my 2 cents, man. Don't believe me. Do your investigation. We're going to go into the live feed. I'm thanking everybody who has joined. Living in Mexico, I saw the video, but he put his hands up. Even if he had a gun in his hand, he didn't have to shoot at that point. Sir, I thank you for your input. I thank you for your opinion. That's what you saw. I saw something very similar. Just because somebody has a gun, don't give you the right to shoot them. So, ladies and gentlemen, it's 4 people in here already. Can we get you to please smash that thumbs up? Please like this video. Douglas Anderson, I watched the video several times. The officer will be cleared and no civil lawsuit settlement or payment made. Mr. Anderson, thank you very much for your feedback, but I wish you would give us a little bit of information. Please, maybe you did explain. Mr. Anderson always says, I'm trying to ditch the gun behind the fence instead of dropping it to the ground. He turned quickly toward the officer. By the time he turned around, the officer had to make a quick decision. Okay, Mr. Anderson, I appreciate your feedback, but why is it that they have to make a quick decision on black and brown men, women, and children? Why is it that mass murderers get arrested who are active shooters killing people? Unless they take their own life, no split decision has to be made. Those people live and are arrested. The young man that shot up that church in South Carolina, they took him to Burger King because he was hungry. And guess what you got to do to a person who's hungry? Someone who just mass murder people, you have to take off his handcuffs and let him eat. So guys, Mr. Anderson, I appreciate your feedback, but I respectfully disagree with you. Just because a person has a gun, unless they motion with that weapon to point it at that officer, now they don't even have to get it from here up to like that. If they have it in their hand, you order them to drop it. If they don't drop it, you don't have to wait for nothing. You can shoot them. You can use deadly force. But in this particular case, guys, I didn't see any of that. So once again, Mr. Anderson, if you can give some more feedback to help us understand your position, I would greatly appreciate that. Douglas Asher says, whether he still had the gun or not. Listen, I want everyone to do their own evaluation. I want you to play the tape, pause the tape, capture a screenshot, play it, pause it, capture screenshots, and do that several times until the officer shoots that young man. And I want you to answer this question. Did you see a gun? Where was the gun? Was it in his hand? And did the young man ever make any attempt to not drop the weapon? Did the officer order him to drop the weapon? No. The officer told him to stop. At some point, he stopped and turned around, and he was immediately shot. So I disagree once again. Chef M, when did this happen? Even more reason to leave the Matrix. I think it happened yesterday, last night. I think it happened last night. I'm not sure, but it was on the news today. It's running all over CNN, MSNBC, and I'm sure the local news in Chicago. So guys, there's currently 5 people in here. We only got 2 thumbs up. Can I get everybody that's in here right now to please smash the thumbs up? Mr. Anderson, I'm gonna read your comment again, and this is why I really disagree with you. You said, in trying to ditch the gun behind the fence, instead of dropping it to the ground, he turned quickly toward the officer. By the time he turned around, the officer had to make a quick decision. You have to make a quick decision if you feel there is a threat against you. If the young man is trying to ditch the gun, or if the young man is dropping the weapon, and I'm not saying he's either happened. I want you to be your own judge. I want everybody to go watch the video all the way through. Then I want you to pause it and capture screenshots. Pause it, capture screenshots. And then I want you to blow the screenshot up. And I want you to ask yourself, do you see a gun? Where is the gun? Is the young man ever putting that gun in a threatening position to that officer? That's what I want you to answer. Okay, JX, unfortunately, he is going to get off because the gun was near the young boy. JX, that doesn't make sense. You can't shoot someone simply because they have a gun. Unless that gun is in a threatening manner at you, you have to order them to drop the gun. He didn't give that young man no time. As soon as that young man turned around, he shot him. You have your weapon out, it's pointed at him. Order him to drop the weapon. If he doesn't, then you have the right to use deadly force. I disagree with you, kind sir. Mr. Anderson is back. It happened a few days ago, if not longer. Okay, I appreciate that feedback. The reason I said it happened yesterday or so, I meant to say that's when the body cam video was released. But thanks for that. I wasn't sure when it happened. Doug Anderson, I watched it several times from several different sources. Okay, guys, Mr. Anderson, it's good to watch it. And it's very important that you watch it. But it's also important that you pause it, capture screenshots, blow that screenshot up, capture it, enlarge it on your device, however you do that. And I want you to see if that weapon, if there was a weapon, was ever in a threatening position for that officer. That's good, guys. That's what investigators are going to do. And at the conclusion of their investigation, I'm not saying what they're going to do, because we know that black and brown people get the short end of the stick. I'm not saying how they're going to rule on this case. I want you to, for your own self, determine if there was a gun, where was it? Did that officer order him to drop that weapon, or did he shoot him as soon as he turned around? And was that weapon ever, if there was a weapon, in a threatening position for the officer? That's all I want you to do. That's all I want you to do, guys. Mr. Anderson, JX says, I agree with you, but we know how this works. Well, we know how it has worked in the past. But ladies and gentlemen, the law enforcement officer who killed Mr. Floyd, they brought charges against him within 3-4 days. The female officer who said she accidentally shot that young man in the same state as Mr. Floyd was murdered, they brought charges on her in 3 days. Things are changing, not in the name of justice, not because black people are going to finally get what's right. They they are bringing these charges because they want the protesters and looters to stop tearing up their shit. That's all it is, guys. They they value their property more than they do black and brown lives. So don't be confused. I'm not confused. They're going to bring charges just like they did on those last two officers. But the only reason they brought charges, not for justice, not because it was the right thing to do, but they wanted looters and people tearing up property to stop and go home. So I'm not confused about that. Jose, I grew up about 6 blocks away from that scene. Bro, I grew up, I was born in St. Joseph Hospital. I lived all over Chicago until 1978. We moved, but I'm sad for that young man's I'm sad for him, man, how he died, man. I'm sad for how that, I feel so bad about how we are dying. Ladies and gentlemen, please help me out. There's 10 people in here. I've only got 5 thumbs up, man. I'm asking everybody, please help me with my analytics, guys. Please like the video and please subscribe to my channel if you haven't already. So, guys, that's about it, man. That's all I have for you guys. That's about all I have for you guys. How many of you know any hardened criminal 13-year-olds who will be willing to have a shootout with the police? I don't know any, but all I know is he finally followed the law enforcement officer's instructions and he got shot. JX says, I wasn't quick decision because he told the boy to turn around, then shot him. If he shot him in the back, would that make a difference in your opinion? No, it wouldn't. Shooting someone without a perceived threat, before you use deadly force, you have to believe that your life or the life of someone else is in danger. You can't shoot someone in the back. As we've seen before, they're not threatening you. They're not threatening anyone. He did. If there was a gun, he didn't see it until the young man turned around. Once again, I'm gonna say this to answer your question about shooting them in the back. You can't shoot someone in the back if you see a gun and he's running and there's no other people around that he can possibly hurt or shoot. But because he shot him in the back, in the case that didn't happen here, but if someone is shot in the back and you find a gun later, come on, man. We know what's up with that. Mr. Anderson is back. He had the gun in his hands and turning toward the officer lost sight of the gun while he was turning. The officer had to decide, do I not shoot and let him shoot me? Should I shoot? Mr. Anderson, that does not make any sense what you said. When the young man's back is toward the officer, he has no sight of a weapon. If there's a weapon, as the young man turns around, that's when the weapon comes into sight. You're gonna get a full view of a weapon if there is a weapon when he turns around. So what you said, it really didn't make any sense. This guy here, Canal Zero, the black and Latino man will never get justice in the land of the damn devil. I will agree with you to a certain extent. Things are changing. Things are changing, guys. If there's any way to get law enforcement off who kill us, they will. But things are changing, man. What's happening in all of these states with these Republicans changing the laws to make it hard for black and brown people to vote, all these Fortune 500 companies, the professional sports, they're standing up against all this stuff. So guys, I always say, guys, we can march as much as we want. We can do this, but until people with money stands up and says what's happening to black people, black and brown people is wrong, Nothing's going to change. But guys, I see people with money, and I see white people coming up and finally acknowledging that the injustices to black people have been going on too long. So guys, I see a change. Let's go up here and see if I miss anybody. Rich's Method, thanks for the video. Technology paired with social media, the truth that black people in America face in the mainstream more. Yeah, man. That's another thing that's going to help, guys. Just because we have phones and body cams and they have captured them abusing us, that they now more and more have to deal with the scrutiny of killing us and getting away with it. And guys, more white people, more people with wealth are standing up and finally saying it's wrong. So guys, there's 11 people here. Can I please get all 11? So if you haven't, oh, we got 9 likes, man. I ain't going on about that no more. Let's go to Jose says, the problem was the cop chasing him. Well, I believe that if he was suspected of committing a crime, he should have been pursued. He should have been pursued. Okay, I believe that. Douglas Anderson says, no, you're wrong. Mr. Anderson, this is the difference in you and I, man. I just disagree with you. I don't tell you you're wrong. I'm just telling you, bro, I don't think what you're saying is valid. You said that he lost sight of the weapon. He first has to see the weapon. When he turned around is when, if there was a weapon, it got exposed. So I'm not saying you're wrong. I just disagree with you, sir. Maybe you're not explaining your position right. Douglas Anderson says again, you're wrong about what you said. Okay, okay, sir. I appreciate your feedback. Let's go to Aquino. Let's see what Aquino's saying. Q, anytime a black man starts building his career for themselves, the world panics. Our success is what scares them, and their way of suppressing us is taking out the younger generation. I agree with that wholeheartedly. You are totally right, but I think it's much deeper than that. White folks are afraid of one day waking up and being the minority, okay? They are, because anytime any race mixes with a black man or woman, guess what you got? A black baby, okay? So they are intimidated by, I mean, even poor black people, they hate us. They are intimidated by us because we're bigger, stronger, faster, smarter. There's nothing we can't do. There's nothing we can't do. If given the same opportunity as them, we will outdo them in everything. If we had baseball fields in the inner city of black cities and communities, black people would rule the National Baseball League. If it iced up in the South and we could play hockey, we would be doing shit with that hockey puck that you never saw before. If we had horses, listen, man, we are so talented and beautiful that they are intimidated by us. But the biggest thing, guys, is that they hate to see us with their women. They hate to see us with their women, and they women love us, and they know what's coming out that woman, a black baby. All right. So, guys, that's my point on that. Traveling Things, Profi. What up, Q? What up, my brother? Jose says, did you see the video of the shooting? The gun he dropped had just shot at a car a few minutes earlier. Jose, do you have any evidence of what happened outside of what was in that video? If you have that, bro, if you have that, you're doing a lot better than us. You're talking about stuff that's not in the video. I appreciate your feedback, but that's not in the video, brother. I want you to evaluate what's in the video. How can someone tell us what that man dead. How can anyone tell that? How can anyone talk about that? But that's not even the conversation we should be having. The conversation we should be having was, should that young man have been shot? Did he threaten that officer with that weapon? If there was a weapon. Let's go to Aquino says, my point exactly, Q. It's okay to be the star of the movie, but it's not okay for the black man to own the studio. Do you get what I'm saying? Hell yeah, I get what you're saying, bro. Bro, look at what they're doing to Denzel Washington, man. Have you watched his last 3 movies? Every role, he's getting fatter and fatter. Michael Douglas, wrinkled up ass, they've been trying to make him a sex symbol for 30 years. He probably in his 70s and 80s, and they still trying to push his wrinkled ass off as a sex symbol. But you know, Mr. Denzel Washington, as fly as he is, there's no way he would look like that in real life. Why they can't let that man look how he supposed to look? Handsome, buff, in shape. Yeah, man. Bro, you're right. Richard's Method says, white has always been the minority compared to the rest of the world. They have the majority in the West, but the rest of the world outnumber them by billions. Black, brown, and bro. But this is, you are exactly right. But what I'm telling you, that is their biggest fear. That is their biggest fear. When they see a white woman with a black man, they know what's coming. A black baby. That's why they hate us, guys. That's one of the reasons they hate us. Answer to no one. The question you should ask is, why would a 13 feel the need to carry a firearm? Thank you for your question. But once again, I don't know if you're a man or woman, but you can't tell me what question to ask on my channel. When you get your channel and you pose questions, you can ask whatever question you want, how you want to answer. But this is my answer to you. Did you ever grow up in the inner city? Are you black? Have you ever had to avoid gangs just to walk to school, just to walk to the store? Did you ever have to fight to go to school? So you don't understand why a 12-year-old, a 13-year-old may need to have a weapon to protect herself. That sounds crazy to you, right? Dude, I had PTSD by the time I was 14. So you don't know nothing about that life, okay? So now, am I saying that that young man at 13 years old should have had a gun, if he had a gun or not? But what I'm saying is there are circumstances in our communities that lead us up to doing shit that we probably shouldn't be doing, okay? That's all I'm saying to you. And I hope you understand that it's probably a white male or female who don't know our struggle. You don't know nothing about our struggle. Living in Mexico, but we Mexicans will beat you at soccer. Bro, listen to me. I think Mexicans, all countries, man, play some hellified soccer. You guys are the best, but you don't win a championship every year, whatever the championship is called. But I promise you, just like if there were baseball fields in the hood, if we had the infrastructure to play soccer, we would be Pele times 10. We would rule the world in soccer. They'd be mad at us about that. But I appreciate your comment. JX. JX says, JX says, wait, I'm gonna let this vehicle pass. I'm sorry, guys. Okay, guys, I apologize about that. JX says, this is an unfortunate situation because there's a lot of people to blame: the cop, the parents, and 21-year-old who gave the kid the gun. You notice the older guy didn't run. Well, guys, you're right on so many different levels. Okay, JX, you're right about that. It's very unfortunate. But I'm sticking to what I'm sticking to. Should that young man have been shot? That's what I'm sticking to. Jose says, no, Diemo. Bro, I don't know what that means, but I'm still working on my Spanish, bro. Thank you for all your help. Jose said it was released. Jose says, but I'm with you. I'm leaving. I'll be joining you soon. Okay, bro. I'll see you, Jose. I'll see you soon, man. World Cup. Thank you. The name of, see, bro, if we had infrastructure for playing soccer in our communities, I would know it was the World Cup. But they don't want us to play soccer, man. They don't want us winning at everything. Guys, we winning at everything except equality. Black people are winning at everything. Guys, black people became doctors during slavery. How the hell that happened? That tells you how talented we are. During slavery, people who were forbidden to read learn how to read. Guys, okay, guys. All right. I don't want to get off into that. Richest method. Ha 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 ha. World Cup is every 4 years, and if black people play soccer, we will win it the most of the time. Guys, look at all the soccer teams, other countries. Guess what most of them have on their team? People of color. I don't care what country they're from. They got some dark-skinned people on there. Okay, guys, we have been on here 31 minutes. Let's see. Jose said, you're a talented drinker. You have the drinking World Cup. You're the champ. Ha ha ha. Hey man, I drink. I drink absolutely every single day. After I handle all my business, after everything is done in the late evening, I have my scotch with my cigar. That's another dose of medication, man. And shit, I enjoy it. I enjoy it, man. It tastes good, it's less filling, and it helps me relax and stay calm. Jose G Hayes 809, we got baseball. Yes, you do. Dominicans, man, are some great baseball players, but y'all don't win it every year. And there's a lot of American teams that have been scouting Dominicans for years, bring them to the U.S. legally and illegally for years. They have camps in the Dominican Republic they've been having for years, and I think that's great. But I'm going to tell you right now, why wouldn't American baseball teams sponsor and put baseball camps and camps in America for black and brown children? Why is that? That you got to go out the country and have camps and smuggle these people into the United States and let them play baseball, but you got all these black people in the United States, black and brown people, who you know are superior athletes to everybody, but yet they won't put no camps in the United States and give black and brown children equipment. See, that's another problem with baseball. It's an expensive sport. You got to have a lot of stuff. You got to have a bat. You got to have a ball. You got to have a glove. So, man, uniforms. And guys, we are being attacked from so many angles. Why wouldn't these teams invest in teaching and putting infrastructure for black kids to play baseball? Why wouldn't they do that? Why you got to go out? Why you got to go out the country to do that? So, hey guys, come on. Richest method. Vimeo is like a YouTube platform that has video. Okay, thank you for that. Jose, I drink too. Just met, bruh. I know you drink. We have drank together, and can't nobody mess with me about drinking. That's what I do. Now, drunk people, alcoholics, they got their problems. And I'm gonna tell you what I drink every day, and according to my doctor, I consume enough alcohol to be considered an alcoholic. But I'm gonna tell you what makes a person an alcoholic. A person whose alcohol consumption interferes with their family life, their job, their health. You have interactions with the police, and you keep having problems, and all those problems, you may be an alcoholic. But if you casually enjoy alcohol for your personal consumption and fun, you winning. Jose, they won't let us Mexicans play hockey either. Hey man, now hey bro, don't take this wrong, but I haven't seen many Mexicans play contact sports. I lived in Dallas, Texas, man, and this don't apply to everybody, but man, the Mexican kids, man, they didn't really play baseball. Most of them aren't as big as you. They're not as tough. They're kind of skinny, and for the most part, man, I don't see a lot of Mexicans playing contact sport. Not even in the NBA, man. There may be more Mexicans in college basketball, but there's not too many Mexicans in the NBA, guys. Let's say Jose will kick the puck. Okay. Douglas Anderson. He should have dropped the gun where the officer could see it, and he should have raised his hands and slowly turned around. That would have given the officer time to assess that he didn't have a gun. So, Mr. Anderson, where do you assume that a young man has the training to do that? The young man did what the officer told him to do, was to turn around, and then he got shot. If there was a gun that the officer seen and the officer instructed him to drop that gun, I believe the young man would have dropped it. So I disagree with you. You're making a lot of assumptions of what the young boy should have done or what he's trained to do. I think that officer has more responsibility in his training than a suspect of a crime has to know about how to interact with a police officer. I don't think so. Look what you said. He should have dropped the gun where the officer could see it. So a young man, 13 years old, if he has a gun, he's supposed to know to throw the gun in plain view so the officer could see it, and he should have raised his hands. Guys, he should have raised it. I think a grown man know to raise your hand, but a 13-year-old kid may not know everything he's supposed to do in a interaction with the police officer. But we do expect the police officer to know what to do. And then he says that would have given the officer time to assess he didn't have a gun. Listen to me, man. The officer did an assessment. He did an assessment, but it wasn't a good assessment. It wasn't based on any training that anybody has probably ever seen. When the young man turned around, if he saw a gun, he immediately shot that gun. So the question is, guys, did anyone, when you evaluate the video, did you see that young man attempting to do this with that weapon? Did anyone see that? Okay, guys. Jose, boxing. We make good boxers, man. Mexicans are the toughest boxers in the world, man. I used to box, man. I boxed when I was in the army, man. And the toughest fights I ever had were Mexicans, man. They have the hardest heads in the world. And if you go after a Mexican's head, you go hurt your hands, and he just go keep coming. You got to go after a Mexican's body. You got to be a body snatcher. You got to be a body snatcher. So yes, Mexicans are some of the best boxers in the world. They're tough, hard heads, man, hard heads. Yes. Canal Zero. The black and Latino man are the kings of the earth. We just don't know who we really are, and we will never get justice in the land. I agree with you, but I believe we're gonna start getting some more justice, guys. We're gonna start it. Let's go to Jose. Not we laugh out loud. I can't box, bro. You could box if you had to. If you was in a fight as big as you is, bro, you put them hands on somebody, man. I don't want to hear that. Jamal Wilford, Q, you the man, brother. That was a bad shooting. That boy followed the instructions. Jamal, I agree with you. He followed the instructions, and I believe if he had been given more instructions, he would have followed them as well. Mr. Anderson expected a 13-year-old child supposed to know all the elements of what he's supposed to do when encountering the police that has a gun pointed at him. So yeah, man. So guys, Mr. Anderson, I'm sorry to point you out. You were the one making the most comments that I could respond to. We disagree. Still have much love for you. I don't care what race you are. It doesn't matter to me. We're talking about a 13-year-old boy that was murdered. And if you watch the tape, pause the tape, took screenshots of the tape, blowed it up, and look at it, you will see that that young man never threatened that police officer with that weapon, okay? That's what you're going to see. And guys, I doubt it if he gets off because Chicago is watching what's happening in Minneapolis. Chicago watched what happened in Minneapolis with George Floyd. They saw what happened with the lady officer who said she accidentally shot that young man. People tearing up their shit, people looting. They don't want that. So charges are going to be filed against this guy. I'm not saying he's going to be found guilty, but charges are going to be. If you watch the tape, analyze the tape, you will see that he murdered that young man. Let's see where we are. Let's see if we missed anybody before I get out of here. Jose, not me. Laugh out loud. I can't, bro. I don't care if you can't box or not. Now, guys, I'm gonna tell you something. Boxing and fighting are two different things. Okay. If you never had a mouthpiece in your mouth and never had on gloves, boxing is different, but bro, if you can fight, you all right. Guys, I think that's it, guys. Jamal Wilford, your comments were restricted. I guess you said something inappropriate, bro. So I have those type of messages blocked. So if you can come back in and express what you had to say, I would greatly appreciate it. Mr. Douglas Anderson is back. You got to put yourself in the officer's shoes. If you see a gun in someone's hand and that person turns around towards you and you don't see a gun, drop. You're going to shoot and ask questions later. First of all, Mr. Anderson, I once again disagree with you. I do not have to put myself in his shoes. I am not the officer. I want the officer to do the right thing. More importantly, I want the officer to do what he would do with a little white boy, a white woman, or a white man. That's all I want. And once you analyze the video, once you pause it, take a screenshot, play it, pause it, take a screenshot, pause it, play it, take a screenshot, and blow those screenshots up and look at it, you will see that if there was a weapon, that weapon was never in a threatening position to the officer. You can't shoot someone just because they have a gun. You can't shoot someone just because they have a gun. You have to give them some commands and see if they respond to your commands and see if they ever attempt to do that. That's just what I have to say about that, guys. Okay. That's just my opinion. Guys, we have been on here 43 minutes. I'm quite impressed that we have 13 people in here, man, and 11 have smashed the like button. I really appreciate y'all. I'm going to ask 2 more people. If you're in here, smash that like button. I appreciate y'all. Mr. Doug Anderson says, I've watched it several times, but we agree to disagree. Yes, we do, Mr. Anderson. But did you do what I asked you to do? You don't have to do this, but if you do this, you will understand my point. Play the video, pause it right before the officer shoots him. You will see that he shot as soon as he turned around. You will see that if there's a weapon, the weapon was never being raised to be a threat to him. So, bruh, that's all I got. That's all I got, sir. So once again, guys, I am so happy. 14 likes, man, and we still in live. You guys are awesome. So, guys, I'm gonna get out of here. Even if someone else comes in, I'm gonna get on out of here. I'm gonna thank everyone for your time. I appreciate the respectful conversation from everybody, guys. I encourage you, if you came in late, start this video from the beginning, watch it all. read the comments, share this video. Guys, thanks a lot for your time.